If you saw my video last week where I talked about the travel ban and the immigration pauses, whether it's with USCIS or with the embassy, and you are discouraged, well, hopefully in this video, I can give you some action steps that you can take while you're waiting for the pause to be over, for the travel ban to be over. These are some action steps that you can take to keep some sanity as you're going through this whole ordeal. I am U.S. Immigration Attorney Lilian Chukwurah, and I help my clients get green cards and citizenships for themselves and their families using the U.S. immigration law system. If you are currently going through the U.S. immigration law system and you are part of either the travel ban countries or the 75 paused immigration countries, I want you to know that it is okay to feel sad. It is okay to feel angry. It is okay to be worried about whether your spouse is going to be joining you in the future, whether your children are eventually going to come and join you in the future. It is normal, and you should let yourself feel that way. Okay, if you have not given yourself permission to feel upset, to feel angry, to feel discouraged, okay, it is okay. As an immigration attorney and an immigrant, I can tell you that hearing the news every single day about all the changes, all the things that are going on, whether it's with USCIS, the embassy, ICE, we all know what's going on, and it can be discouraging. It can feel like it's just too much and you want to give up and just throw the towel in and be like, I'm done, right? You may feel that way, and that is normal. And that is also the point of the whole thing, okay? The goal with all these pauses, with all these delays, is to make you feel like there's no hope, and then you decide to let go and be like, you know what? Forget immigrating to the U.S. Forget filing for my family. Forget all of this. Let me just give up. That's what the goal is. But you're not going to give up because you know your goal, right? That may be their goal, but you know your goal is to be reunited with your family. Your goal is to become a U.S. citizen, and your goal is to remain in the U.S. and have legal status in the U.S. Those are your goals. And even with the travel ban, even with the pauses, your goal has not changed. And therefore, you still have hope of those things happening. With everything going on right now, you may feel like there's no hope, but there is hope, okay? There's this saying in my culture that the only thing that there's no cure for is death. And when it comes to everything that's going on right now, literally, that's what has been getting me through it every single day. And I feel discouraged as well, but I still show up. I still give you the updates, and I still represent my clients to the fullest within what I can do with everything going on. So again, let that be the theme. The only thing that there's no cure for is death. So we're going to continue we're going to continue having hope and moving through the immigration law system. So here are 4 things you can do to continue taking action within this system so that you don't feel that this pause is a waste of time, right? So that you feel that you are doing something while all of this is going on. All right. If you are a U.S. citizen, the first thing you need to do is become an advocate. Okay, if you are a U.S. citizen filing for a family member, if you're a U.S. citizen that knows an immigrant going through this immigration law system, I'm going to need you to become an advocate. And when I say that, I don't mean you need to be on the news every day. You need to be protesting every single day. I know, right? I know. But what you can do is contact your senator. What you can do is contact your congressperson, because what can change everything that's going on is comprehensive immigration reform. So you can contact your congressperson and your senators and let them know that comprehensive immigration reform is something that you support, and they need to also support if they want to get your vote in the future. Listen, your vote matters. The more US citizens that support immigrants and immigration, that speak up, especially where it hurts politicians the most, which is the votes, right? The more they are going to be willing to take action. So if they don't know that their constituents are worried about this, it's time for you to let them know that you are specifically worried about this. So be an advocate, and that is actions that you can take. Again, everything may feel hopeless. I'm giving you actions that you can take. So you can email, call, send a letter to your congressperson or your senator. And you can do that. I'm going to put the link in the description where you can actually put your address and zip code, and it will tell you who your senator is. It will tell you who your congressperson is. So if you do want to take action and not just sit in the despair of it all, right? we already talked about that. You don't want to sit in the despair of it all. You want to take action. You want to let your anger be valuable. Go ahead and contact your congressperson and your senator and let them know that you want comprehensive immigration reform. The next thing that you can do is focus on your case, right? Focus on your case evidence. One thing I would encourage you to do, especially if you are filing a marriage-based case, a family-based case, you want to continue putting together evidence of your relationship. We do not know how long the USCIS pause is going to be. We do not know how long the immigrant visa pause is going to be. But what we do know is eventually those pauses are going to end, and you will be able to get an interview, get your case processed and approved. So while you wait for that, you want to keep saving your evidence. So if you are in the US with your spouse and you have a new lease, you filed your tax return, you have new pictures, you can create a folder, either a physical folder or a digital folder, where you every single month look through your bills, look through everything, and save copies of those, so that once you do have that interview, you are not scrambling looking for your evidence because it's been months and you didn't put them together. So that's something you can do. Again, action steps. You can keep building that evidence, keep building your evidence for your case, so that once you do get that interview, you will already have that ready to go. You're not looking for it. You don't have to go look for your bank statements. You don't have to go look for your utility bills, any of that, because you already saved it in a folder. Okay? So this is something that you can do. You and your spouse, you and your child, whoever you're filing for, they can continue having that evidence. Another thing you want to do in the realm of evidence is, if your passport is expiring, please go get a new one, right? Make sure your passport is up to date, because once you have your interview at an embassy, remember, your passport needs to have at least 6 months validity when you go to your interview. So make sure, if your passport is expiring, to go ahead and renew it. Do not wait, because all of these things are things you need to do to prepare for that interview. So you need to make sure that you have everything ready to go before your interview. Again, it may be months before we know if the pause is going to be lifted, when it's going to be lifted, the backlogs and all of that. But that is some action steps that you can take today. Make sure that your identity documents are up to date. Make sure that if you have not translated some documents into English, that you start now doing that, right? So take those little steps and make sure that your case is well documented, or that you are continuing to document your case. If you are in a place where you're deciding whether to file now or wait, my personal advice typically is to file if you qualify. Okay? That's always the caveat to everything. If you qualify, go ahead and file, because, and this is the part people don't really talk about, the more you wait, the more time you will have to wait in the future. So during COVID, a lot of people decided to wait because the embassies were closed. They didn't want to just file and not have their case get to the embassy. What happened was that once the embassy opened and they went to file their case, they realized, oh, I just wasted 2 years Because even though the embassy was closed, USCIS was still open. The National Visa Center was still open and processing applications. So if they actually continued with their application up until the point of waiting for an interview, when the embassy is open, they're already in line for an interview instead of starting their case all from step one with USCIS. So do not do what they did. Be smart. And if you qualify to file for a family member and that family member qualifies to come to the US, make sure that you are starting that process so that you are not wasting additional time once these pauses and these travel bans are lifted. The third thing, so this third one, I am giving you permission. I am giving you all the permission to dissociate with everything going on, right? Find a hobby, find a book series to read, find a movie to watch, find a new TV show to watch, a podcast, whatever. That is not immigration related. Okay? Okay? I know if you're watching this video is because you are interested in immigration, or either you are specifically going through your own immigration journey or you know someone that is. Let's take a break. Okay? Take a break from all the immigration news, because it can get really dark. I want you to take a break, okay? It's okay to check what's going on with immigration once a day, right? You don't have to have it every 5 minutes checking it, because what's going to happen is you're going to just be hearing all these bad news going on, all this ICE activity, all these bans and pauses, and you're going to always be in a defensive mode. Okay, you're always going to be worried. But please, I am begging you, find something outside of immigration to be doing to basically help you get away from it, even if it is for a short amount of time. So I'll tell you what I'm doing, right? Because I can't just tell you to do these things while I'm not doing it myself. Okay, I will tell you what I'm doing to dissociate sometimes. Okay, I am learning how to swim, so I'm taking swim lessons and then going an extra day a week to practice what I learned in the swim lesson. So that is what I'm doing, right? That is something active that I am doing to help me just not be in immigration mode all the time. And you may want to find something that you can do that will help you just regulate yourself and not be in immigration mode all the time. Okay. And then the last thing is focus on your family, right? This channel, my law firm, is really all about helping reunify families, keep families together. Do not let this mess up your family. I don't know how else to put it. Do not let the pause, do not let the travel ban be the thing that breaks up your family. So make sure that you are making time for the thing that you are looking to do, right? Make sure that you are making time for your family. Because your whole point of going through the immigration system, right, filing for a family member, filing for your spouse, filing for your children, is to have your children join you, to be in the same space and be able to have that life together. That's the whole point, right? So if that is the point, then you need to make sure that you do not let this travel ban, these pauses, all this ICE activity mess with that. So if your family is outside of the US, maybe have a date once a week where you are checking in on a phone call, a video call, right? Yes, you can text throughout the week, but have that moment where you are on FaceTime, where you can hear each other's voices, see each other's face, so that you can continue to nurture that relationship, continue to be a family. Because again, the cruelty is the point. The family separation is the point. But do not let that be the thing that tears your family apart. So make sure that you are staying focused on your goal. And again, the goal for most of the people that watch my channel, that watch my videos, is to have their families together, either stay together in the US or bring them to the US. So if that is your goal, make sure that you are making time for your family. Make sure that you are taking steps to continue to build that bond with your family, especially with everything else going on right now. Really focus on that because that's what's going to get you all through it. I am making time for that in my life by making time for my family as well. So make sure that as you're going through this stuff, that you are making time for those people that are important to you and not letting the cruelty, not letting the travel bans, the pauses tear you apart. Because again, it is stressful. It is demoralizing. It is it is a lot. It is a lot. And sometimes my clients will ask me, okay, what does this mean? And I just have to say, you just have to wait. We have to wait for something to change. And those things, that is out of your control, right? For waiting for something to change with US immigration law is out of your control. But you can do the 4 things that I'm talking about. You can advocate for immigrants and immigration reform by talking to your senator and talking to your congressman. 2, you can focus on your case evidence, making sure that you have that folder, whether it's physical or digital, that you are putting your evidence in every single month so that once you have your interview, you already have your evidence ready to go. You don't need to put it together then. And then 3, making sure that you are finding an activity outside of looking at what's going on with US immigration that will help you just regulate, because sometimes you do need to get away from the thing that is stressing you out in order to still have an enjoyable life. And then finally, you can focus on your family, making sure that you are staying connected, whether it's a video call, text messages, phone call, whatever it is, physical visits, right? Taking time to really spend time with each other, that is going to make a difference. So those are 4 things you can do that is within your control, right? There's so much that is out of your control, but these are 4 things that are within your control that you can do. So tell me in the comments, what is one thing that you are currently doing or that you will now be doing because of this video to stay sane during these troubling times? And if you need help with US immigration, family-based immigration, naturalization, please feel free to schedule a consultation with me. You can do that by going to my website, lilylegal.com, click on contact us, and you can pick a date and time that works best for you for us to talk about your case.